The penalty kill last night, was that kind of just an anomaly, or is that something you guys looked at and did something that you obviously need to correct, but or it was just one of those times that puck sometimes?
Well, let's hope it's an anomaly. We won't know until we play a few more games, but penalty kill's been leaking a little bit lately, due to a number of factors. One, taking too many penalties, just careless penalties, so that has to get fixed. And then, secondarily, we've got some issues in certain areas that we have to clean up. We've addressed it today, and we expect it to be better tomorrow.
When you play in a team like the Wild, that they seem to simplify that power play. They threw a puck from the point, it tipped in. They had another one that was right in front of the net. Is it almost more difficult to try to defend that when it's just a simplify and they're kind of looking for a bounce? Well,
we do a lot of research and analysis on power plays to try and improve ours, and they're with Suter on the top, they're willing to float a lot of pucks in towards the net and take their chances with some of their bigger bodies and good hands at finding rebounds or secondary opportunities. And you look at the first goal that happened on a poor clear on our behalf. The second one was a seeing eye puck that found its way through, but just a simple little wrist shot that gets through. Third one was a little bit different, obviously, but they created chances by getting it to the pads. And you watch the games tonight, you can just go to NHL Network or any of the other TV outlets, and when they have the highlight package, you see a power play goal. Very few end up in TSN top 10. Most of them are scramble, secondary type goals. Drew, you got something in your throat? Oh, Sportsnet top 10, sorry. Sportsnet top 10.
They don't do those.
Sportsnet top 10.
What would you say was a TSN turning point last night? Leon said, I think it was last week or the week before, that when watching Connor play, he sees more confidence in his shot than maybe he had before, that he can beat a goalie with his shot. Have you seen an improvement in Connor's shot or in his confidence in that shot?
I see a willingness to use it in some different areas. Be the power play, be a little bit more from a distance, and then find secondary chances in and around the net. So it is a thing that evolves, or a tool that evolves with maturity and experience. And I think the best goal scorers tend to work on their whole game. I use the golfing analogy, work on the green, the chipping, the putting, then work on the short game, work on the long game. You need it all together to be an elite golfer, and Connor's approaching it that way. So shot selection, the pace of the shot, when to shoot, the distance, I'm guessing he's taking all of that into consideration and studying it.
It's related to Connor, I guess. In overtime last year, you guys were 11-3, 3-1 this year. What does that kind of say about the dynamic of the group that the core group you put out there?
Well, that they're pretty darn good at it. When you think about 3-on-3, I'm not sure how many teams in the league really, truly donate time to practicing it. It's a tough thing to do when you've got 23-man roster. You don't put a lot of time in. Glenn Gulletson uses the word street hockey a lot. That becomes street hockey sometimes in overtime. Get the puck, have the puck, hold on to the puck, don't give it up carelessly, and then manufacture offense off of it. And it's usually two groups of three that generally get it done for us. We felt or feel confident in that area, but it's not over practiced. It's talked about. There's some key points that are discussed, but it's not. We don't donate a bunch of time to it. Maybe we should more, considering there's a point there.
When a player like Alex Chiasson comes into the group, how long does it take him to develop the coach's trust? Because it looks like he has it now, 4 goals in 6 games. But is it more than just the offense that develops the trust with you guys?
Definitely. And every player, their trust period is either shorter or longer, depends how they play, the position they play, the ammunition they give the coach or the coaching staff. And that's basically what players do every day. They give a staff ammunition to use them more or use them less, to move them around on lines. And the evidence is in the game. Which is interesting, because a lot of people think that the coach takes the player out of the lineup or moves them down the lineup. The player does that, not necessarily the coach all the time. So it takes a while.
Todd, the team has had some success on the road. At home, everyone's talking about that they want to make this a difficult barn to play in. Is there any extra added emphasis in tomorrow's game before and during on another 4-game trip before making the trip down to?
All the games at home have to be difficult. It doesn't matter when we play them or we add emphasis to it. I thought that the game yesterday, which we lost, we did make it difficult on Minnesota for the most part. But then we stepped on our own toes and took some penalties. We weren't able to kill them, and we didn't capitalize on the power play. So other than that, it was a difficult, hard night for Minnesota to play. With Chicago, they're a different type of team. They'll present different problems. We'll prepare, but we plan on making it difficult for every team coming in here.